crowded nights, roar of the field burning bright, shadows clash in the fading night. Student body right, student body fight. Feel the surge, feel the might. Run the play under the blue spotlight.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Student Body Right. I'm your host, Mike Neff. College football on the night right now. Kennesaw State leading FIU 21-7 in the second quarter. Well, welcome. We'll be reviewing week number 8 for the college football, and then we will preview week number 9. Only 6 weeks left in college football, which is amazing to me. It always goes by so fast. Thank you, Student Body Right Orchestra. But again, welcome. Did your team win this weekend? Mine did, but they fired the coach. It was long overdue. And we'll see what happens on that end. Who my Gators hire going forward? They're going to have to swing for the fences, I think, on this one. But let's just jump into it, shall we? I am going to go as the games. Well, I'll try and go in sequential order here. But it all started on Thursday. Louisville beat number 2 Miami last week. They were ranked number 2 anyway. 24-21. Close game throughout. I was waiting for Miami to trip up somewhere, as they always seem to. And this was the particular week that they did. And look, Louisville's a good football team. I think Miami may have gotten a little full of themselves. But for Louisville, Miller Moss was 23 of 37, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Isaac Brown, 15 carries for 113 yards. Your leading rusher for Louisville. Chris Bell, 9 catches, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns receiving. Your leading Louisville receiver, and TJ Quinn, your leading tackler, with 6. For Miami, Carson Beck was horrible, 25 of 35, 271 yards, no touchdowns, and he threw 4 picks. And then in his post-game presser, he basically threw his receivers under the bus. Miami ran the ball 24 times for 63 yards. You turn the ball over 4 times, you can't run the football, you're going to lose. Malachi Toney, 9 receptions for 135 yards receiving. Miami's leading receiver. Keontae Scott, 9 total tackles. We go to the team stats. Again, you turn it over 4 times. You get out rushed. You're not going to win. They still had opportunities, but you can't do it. Louis now is 5-1 overall. They're 2-1 in the ACC, and Miami is now 5-1 overall, 1-1 in the ACC. When it comes to the ACC, to be quite honest with you, whoever wins this particular conference, that should probably be the only playoff team. Also on Thursday, number 25 Nebraska went into Minnesota, and they lost 24-6. Again, Nebraska's not all the way back. I think I picked Nebraska to win the game. I don't remember because I don't even remember what I did the other day. But Nebraska, Dylan Raiola was 17 of 25, 177 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Emmett Johnson, 14 carries, 63 yards. The leading Nebraska rusher. Luke Lindenmeyer, 4 catches, 52 yards, your leading receiver. Javen Wright, 12 total tackles for Nebraska, their leading tackler. For Minnesota, Drake Lindsey was 16 of 20, 153, a touchdown, no picks. Darius Taylor, 24 carries, 148 yards, 1 touchdown receiving. Dylan Raiola was sacked often. Jalen Smith from Minnesota, your leading receiver, 3 catches, 59 yards. Zaquan Bryant, 8 total tackles. When you go to the team stats, Excuse me. Minnesota outrushed Nebraska 186-36. That's all you need to know. Minnesota 5-2 overall. They are 3-1 in the Big Ten. Nebraska's 5-2 overall. They are 2-2 in the Big Ten. Are either of these teams going to make the playoff? No. Can Minnesota and Nebraska still have a decent season? Yes. Now I will go down the line as they were ranked last week. Number 24, Cincinnati last week beat the shit out of Oklahoma State 49-17. The game wasn't close. Oklahoma State's fallen on some bad times now. It wasn't close. For Cincinnati, Brendan Sorsby was 21-30, 284 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Evan Pryor, 9 carries, 63 yards. You're leading Cincinnati. Rusher. Leading receiver was Joe Royer, 5 catches, 63 yards, and a touchdown. Jake Goldday, 6 total tackles. Oklahoma was 11 of 19, or Sam Jackson, the 5th, 11 of 19, 149, no touchdowns and interception. Rodney Fields Jr., 21 catches, or 21 carries, 163 yards and a touchdown rushing. Their leading rusher. Shamar Rigby, 1 catch for 48 yards. Now, when you look at this stat, Oklahoma State ran the ball 48 times for 228 yards, and they still got their ass kicked. Landon Cleveland at 7 total tackles. Oklahoma State turned it over twice. But again, the big play capability of Cincinnati time and time again. Oklahoma State is 1-6 overall, 0-4 in the Big 12. Cincinnati, quietly 6-1. They are 4-0 in Big 12 play. Quietly putting together a sleeper season, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, number 22, Memphis, they lose to UAB. Bad loss, by the way. Memphis was undefeated going into that game. They lose 31-24. Had an opportunity to win in the end or tie it. Couldn't do it. For Memphis, A.J. Hill was 13 of 25, 175 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Greg DeRoziers Jr., 11 carries, 74 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Your leading Memphis rusher. Hortez Branham Jr., 5 catches, 83 yards receiving. Drew Watts. No relation to Randy Watts. Your leading tackle. UAB, Ryder Burton was 20 of 27, 251 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Leading rusher for UAB was Solomon Beebe, 5 rushes, 106 yards, 1 touchdown. Iverson Hooks, 11 catches, 172 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns receiving. Tylen McNichols, 7 total tackles. We go to the team stats. Memphis got outrushed, outpassed, turned it over twice. Memphis turned it over once, UAB twice. But UAB better on third down. They just made more plays. They wanted it more. UAB is 3-4 overall. They're 1-3 in American. Memphis now 6-1 overall, 2-1 in the American. Number 21 Kentucky last week held on to beat Kentucky. Number 21 Texas last week held on to beat Kentucky 16-13. You know what's happened with Penn State. I don't know what's going on with Texas. Kentucky came to play. Texas didn't. Arch Manning was 12 of 27, 132 yards, no touchdown, no picks. Texas ran the ball 28 times for 47 yards. DeAndre Moore Jr., 3 catches, 37 yards. Texas's lead receiver. Anthony Hill Jr., 12 total tackles. for Texas. Kentucky, Cutter Bowley was 31 of 39, 258 yards, no touchdowns, but he threw the pick. He also ran the ball 14 times for 45 yards and a rushing touchdown. Seth McGowan, 7 catches, 68 yards. Ty Bryant, your leading tackler for Kentucky. The one turnover Kentucky had hurt. Kentucky outrushed Texas. They outpassed Texas. They were better on third down. How the hell they lost this game, I have no idea. Kentucky held the ball for almost 40 minutes to Texas's 20. And somehow Texas won. That's what losing teams do, is lose in different ways. Winning teams find ways to win. Texas is now 2 overall, 2-1 in the SEC. Kentucky is 2-4 overall, 0-4 in the SEC. Number 19 last week, South Florida beat Florida Atlantic 48-13. Again, game was not close. South Florida pulled away, extended the lead. For FAU, Caden Veldkamp was 35 of 50 for 244 yards, touchdown and a pick. He was also sacked many times. Because of those sacks, Florida Atlantic ran the ball 30 times for 23 yards. Assad Wasim, 8 catches for 56 yards. Tyler Stolsky was Florida Atlantic's leading tackler with 11. For South Florida, Byron Brown had a good day, 14 of 24, 256, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He also ran the ball 14 times for 111 yards and a touchdown. South Florida ran the ball 51 times for 259 yards. Jeremiah Koger, 4 catches, 90 yards, and a receiving touchdown. South Florida's leading receiver. Their leading tackler was Mac Harris with 10. You go to the team stats. All the stat that you just need to know is South Florida ran the ball 259 yards. Florida Atlantic 23. Therefore, hence ass whooping. South Florida is now 6-1 overall. They are 3-0 in the American. FAU is 3-4 overall, 2-2 in the American. As I follow the bouncing ball here, number 18, Virginia had to come back against Washington State. I thought Washington State was going to win this game. I was wrong. Number 18, Virginia last week, they come back and win 22-20. I still don't think Washington State's having all that bad of a season. All the turmoil the last 2 years. For Washington State, Zevi Eckhouse was 18 of 27 for 183 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, unfortunately, though, which kind of cost him. Kirby Voorhees, 16 carries for 45 yards to the leading rusher. Joshua Meredith, 7 catches, 108 yards, and a tutty. Your leading receiver for Washington State. The Cougars' leading tackler was Caleb Francie with 10 total tackles. For Virginia, Chandler Morris was 15 of 25, 175 yards, no touchdown, no picks. Jamari Taylor, 17 carries, 47 yards, was their leading rusher. Jamal Edrine, 5 catches for 102 yards. Virginia's leading receiver. Their leading tackler was Devin Neal, 10 total tackles. The team stats, again, Washington State with the 2 interceptions. Virginia turned it over none. That really was the difference in the game. So Virginia wins. Virginia, 6-1 overall. Washington State falls to 3-4. The final in 2 overtimes. I didn't think anybody would want to win this game. Number 16, Missouri goes on the road, beats Auburn 23-17. Of course, people are calling for Hugh Freeze's firing. There's a lot of coaches that are on the chopping block as of right now. But Mizzou, a gritty win. Bo Pribula was 23 of 40, 252 yards, no touchdowns, but he threw the 2 picks. Ahmad Hardy, 25 carries, 58 yards, and 2 touchdowns rushing, your leading Missouri rusher. Donovan Oigbode, 5 catches for 69 yards, their leading receiver, leading tackler for the Tigers, the Missouri Tigers. Josiah Trotter, 8 total tackles. For Auburn, Jackson Arnold was 18 of 30, 207 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. Jeremiah Cobb, 19 carries, 111 yards rushing, and their leading rusher. Cam Coleman for Auburn, your leading receiver, 6 catches for 108 yards. Xavier Atkins and Robert Woodyard Jr., 11 total tackles apiece for Auburn. We go to the team stats. Again, Auburn won the rushing battle. Missouri won the passing battle. Auburn actually won the turnover battle. But look, Missouri just made one more play than Auburn did. Auburn had their chances to win, couldn't capitalize. So Missouri wins. Auburn's 3-4 overall, but they're 0-4 in the SEC. Missouri now 6-1 overall, 2-1 in the SEC. In a game I thought Utah would win, the Holy War. BYU again just made one more play than Utah did. Number 15 BYU last week beat number 23 Utah 24-21. Good game, actually. For Utah, Devin Dampier was 20 of 36, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Daniel Bray, 10 carries, 121 yards and a touchdown rushing. For Utah, leading receiver was Ryan Davis, 7 catches, 66 yards and a touchdown. Their leading tackler was Logan Fano, 9 total tackles. For Brigham Young, Bear Bachmeier, 13 of 22, 166 yards and a touchdown, and no picks, more importantly. LJ Martin for BYU, rushing 26 carries, 122 yards. BYU receiving, Parker Kingston, 4 catches, 50 yards receiving. Paletau Satuala, 12 total tackles for BYU. Team stats. Utah turned it over twice. That was the killer. Utah outrushed BYU, outpassed them. But you can't turn it over twice. The other team doesn't turn it over any. The 2 turnovers hurt big time. BYU now 7-0 overall. They are 4-0 in the Big 12. Probably one of the favorites going forward. Utah now 5-2 overall, 2-2 in the Big 12. Number 14, Oklahoma bounced back against South Carolina with a win, 26-7. Oklahoma's defense showed up. South Carolina really couldn't do anything. For Oklahoma, John Mateer, a better game, 18 of 26, 150 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Oklahoma rushing, Torrey Blaylock, 19 carries, 101 yards, and a touchdown rushing. Your leading Oklahoma receiver was Isaiah Satania III, 7 catches for 73 yards and a receiving touchdown. Robert Spears Jennings, 8 total tackles for that Oklahoma defense. South Carolina, Lenora Sellers, 17 of 25 for 124 yards, a touchdown, no picks. Rashul Faison, 10 carries for 50 yards, your leading Gamecocks rusher. Leading receiver for South Carolina, Jaden Sellers, 6 catches for 57 yards. Their leading tackler was Judge Collier. Go to the team stats again. South Carolina turning over twice, Oklahoma none. Oklahoma won the rushing battle 3-1. South Carolina was 3 of 15 on third down. Oklahoma was 8 of 16. Game wasn't close. South Carolina is 3-4 overall, 1-4 in the SEC. Oklahoma 6-1 overall, 2-1 in the SEC. Number 13, Notre Dame last week beat number 20 USC 34-24. I expected this. Well, it was kind of close. Kind of. For USC, Jane Maya, I can never pronounce the names. Mayava. He was 22 of 42, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he threw 2 picks. USC rushing 29 times for 68 yards. Jacoby Lane, 6 receptions for 111 yards and a receiving touchdown. Desmond Stevens II and Bishop Fitzgerald, 10 total tackles for USC, your leading tackles. Notre Dame, CJ Carr, respectable, I guess, 16 of 26, 136 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Jeremiah Love, have yourself a day. 24 carries, 228 yards, and a touchdown. Jadarian Price also added a rushing touchdown. Jordan Faison, 6 catches for 60 yards receiving. Aiden Schuler, 11 total tackles for Notre Dame. USC turned it over 3 times to Notre Dame's 1. They got out rushed almost 5-1. Yes, USC won the passing battle, but you turn it over 3 times, you get out rushed, you're gonna lose. Notre Dame's now 5-2 overall. USC is now 5-2 overall. And I said before, if Notre Dame can win out, and their losses were close against good ranked opponents, they'll make the college football playoff. Number 12, Georgia Tech held off a scrappy Duke team 27-18 in an ACC clash. For Georgia Tech, Haynes King, 14 of 21, 205 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. He also ran the ball 14 times for 120 yards and a touchdown. They're going to get him killed, by the way. Jamal Haynes is a worthy running back, but Haynes King he's going to be exhausted by the time the season ends. Isaiah Canyon, 3 catches for 56 yards, Georgia Tech's leading receiver. Jai Gilmore, 11 total tackles for Georgia Tech. For Duke, Darian Mensah, 32 of 44, 373 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. But Duke only ran the ball 32 times for 68 yards. Darian Mensah was sacked 1 time, which that looks a little worse than it is. Cooper Barcade, or Barcate, have yourself a day, Duke. 13 receptions for 172 yards receiving. Luke Murgott, 11 total tackles for the Dukies. Again, Duke got outrushed. They actually held time of possession. Both were about the same on 3rd down. Duke had the 1 turnover, which hurt. Look, but Duke just does, or Georgia Tech is just doing Georgia Tech type things this year. Duke is 4-3 overall. They're still 3-1 in the ACC. Georgia Tech 7-0 overall. They are 4-0 in the ACC. And I called for Georgia Tech to be one of my sleeper teams. I called for Illinois too. They still might be a sleeper. I don't know. Number 17 Vanderbilt at the time beat number 10 LSU 31-24. Something wrong with this LSU offense. And when the offense struggles, LSU's defense, I think, is still top notch, but when you can't sustain drives and you keep putting your defense back on the field, bad things will happen. For LSU, Garrett Nussmeier was 19 of 28, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. LSU only ran the ball 21 times for 100 yards. LSU receiving Xavier Thomas, 4 catches, 75 yards, and a receiving touchdown. Trey Des Green also 5 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown. AJ Halsey, LSU's leading tackler, with 13. For Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia, 14 of 22, 160 yards, and touchdown, no picks. He also ran the ball 17 times for 86 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Cole Spence for Vanderbilt, 5 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Langston Patterson, 5 total tackles. Go to the team stats, clean game, no turnovers. Vanderbilt outrushed LSU 239 yards to 100. Difference in the ball game right there. Vanderbilt improved to 6-1, 2-1 in the SEC. LSU drops to 5-2, 2-2 in the SEC. Unfortunately, number 8 Rutgers last week beat the holy hell out of Rutgers 56-10. It was 42-3 at the half. It was a bloodbath. Dante Moore for Oregon was 15-20, 290 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. I'm not going to go over the leading rushers. I'm just going to tell you that Oregon ran the ball 37 times for 415 yards. Kenyon Sadiq, 4 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns receiving for Oregon. Bryce Betcher, 7 total tackles. For Rutgers, it was just horrible. Athan Kaliakmanis, he was 8-25, 79 yards, no touchdowns, threw 2 picks. Jashawn Benjamin had a respectable day, 18 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Rutgers receiving 8 catches, 79 yards. Their leading tackler was Abram Light. I'm just going to go to the team stats. Both teams turned it over 3 times. But when you get outrushed 415 to 123, you're not going to win. Rutgers is 3-4 overall. They're 0-4 in the Big Ten. Oregon still sitting 6-1. They're 3-1 in the Big Ten. The Big Ten, anything can happen. Or the Big Ten plus 10, whatever the hell they call it now. And again, that kind of shocked me a little bit, although Texas Tech's starting quarterback, he got knocked out early. Number 7, Texas Tech falls to Arizona State, 26-22. Texas Tech came back. Defense couldn't hold. For Texas Tech, Will Hammond came in 22-37, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Pedestrian. Texas Tech rushing. He also ran the ball 15 times for 47 yards and a touchdown. If your quarterback's your leading rusher, you're not going to win many games. Boy, Eakin, 5 catches, 66 yards and a touchdown. Texas Tech's leading tackler was Ben Roberts. Arizona State, Sam Levitt, 28-47, 319 yards, a touchdown. More importantly, no picks. Malik Brown, 19 carries, 69 yards and a rushing touchdown. Jordan Tyson and Jaron Hamilton each had over 100 yards receiving for Arizona State. Kayshawn Elliott, 10 total tackles. We go to the team stats. Texas Tech had the 1 turnover, which kind of hurt. Both teams were about equal on 3rd down. Arizona State made it a point. They were 9-21 on 3rd down, by the way. They controlled the ball 37 minutes as opposed to Texas Tech's 22. Texas Tech is 6-1 overall. They're 3-1 in the Big 12, and Arizona State's 5-2 overall. 3-1 in the Big 12. I said all hell would break loose this weekend, and it's just going to continue to be like that. Number 6 Alabama last week beat number 11 Tennessee 37-20. I thought Tennessee had something for them. I was wrong. Tennessee just looked all out of sorts. I don't know why. Joey Aguilar was 28-44 for 260 yards, a touchdown, and a pick for Tennessee. Deshaun Bishop, 14 carries, 123 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns. Braylon Staley for Tennessee, 10 catches, 92 yards, and a touch. Idris Farouk, 7 total tackles for Tennessee. For the Alabamians, Ty Simpson was 19-29 for 253 yards and 2 touchdowns. Alabama rushing collectively 32 for 120 yards. Ryan Williams, 5 catches, 87 yards for Alabama. Their leading tacklers were Bray Hubbard, Xavier Brown, James Smith, each with 7 apiece. This game really came down to Alabama's big play capability and Tennessee's lack thereof. That's really what it boiled down to. Alabama is 6-1 overall. They are 4-0 in the SEC, and Tennessee is 5-2 overall. They dropped to 2-2 in the SEC. In a game that was highly entertaining, Ole Miss thought they had Georgia rocked. And of course, as does the case with some Lane Kiffin teams, they have a propensity for doing stuff like this and losing games like this. And they had no business losing a game like this. The number 9 Georgia last week, they beat number 5 Ole Miss 43-35. Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss, 19-36, 263, 1 touchdown, no picks. Ole Miss rushing, nothing spectacular, 24 times, 88 yards. They did have 4 rushing touchdowns, by the way. Dejon Stribling, 3 catches, 96 yards and a touchdown. Suntarine Perkins, 10 total tackles. For Georgia, Gunnar Stockton, 26-31, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns. More importantly, no picks. I'll tell you this about Georgia. They ran the ball 49 times for 221 yards, and Ole Miss could not stop them in the second half. Zachariah Branch, 8 carries, 71 yards. CJ Allen for Georgia, 10 total tackles. We go to the team stats. Clean game, no turnovers. But again, Georgia, 221 yards rushing. Ole Miss, 88. Ole Miss's lack of being able to run the football in the second half killed them. It killed them. They couldn't run the ball to save their life. Georgia is now 6-1 overall, 4-1 in the SEC, and Ole Miss is 6-1 overall, 3-1 in the SEC. Number 4, Texas A&M had to hold off Arkansas, 45-42. Actually had to come back a couple times. For Texas A&M, Marcel Reed was 23-32, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Ruben Owens was the second, 14 carries, 69 yards, for 2 touchdowns. Ashton Bethel-Roman, the Aggies' leading receiver, 4 for 83 and a touchdown. Dalton Brooks, 9 total tackles. For the Arkansans, Taylor Green had a good game, 19-32, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Mike Washington Jr., 16 carries, 147 yards, their leading rusher. And Omega Blake, 7 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown receiving. Xavier Sori Jr., their leading tackler. Again, this was back and forth. Clean game, which I like to see, no turnovers. Arkansas won the rushing battle. Texas A&M won the passing battle. Texas A&M was 3-3 on 4th down, which helped. And again, Texas A&M just made one more play than Arkansas did. Arkansas could have won this game, but they didn't. Arkansas is 2-5 overall. They're 0-3 in the SEC. Texas A&M remains undefeated, 7-0 overall, and they're 4-0 in the SEC. Number 3, Indiana took care of business against Michigan State. Michigan State jumped up 7-0, and then they got outscored 38-6. Michigan State, Aiden Childs was effective. He was 27-33, 243 yards, a touchdown, no picks. But Michigan State couldn't run the football, 24 carries for 74 yards. Nick Marsh, 7 receptions for 64 yards and a tutty. Malcolm Bell, 7 total tackles. For the Indianians, Fernando Mendoza, who is the Heisman frontrunner as far as I'm concerned, 24-28, 332 yards, 4 touchdowns, more importantly, no picks. Kalen Black, 10 carries, 64 yards and a touchdown. Indiana receiving, Omar Cooper Jr. still doing good things. 8 catches for 115 yards and a touchdown. Lewis Moore, 11 total tackles. Another clean game, no turnovers. Indiana won the rushing battle. They won the passing battle. They were better on third down. Indiana 7-0 overall, 4-0 in the Big Ten. Michigan State 3-4 overall. They have yet to win a Big Ten game, 0-4 in the Big Ten. As we follow the bouncing ball. Late in the second, Kennesaw State up on Florida International 24-7. And then number 1 Ohio State took care of Wisconsin. Wisconsin now falling on bad times. Lou Fickell will not be there after this year, even if he makes it through. I don't even know if he'll make it through the season. But Ohio State takes care of business. That defense may be the best defense in the country. They win 34-0. Julian Sayin, who might be second in the Heisman campaign. He was 36 of 42, 393 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Might be a little concerning that Ohio State only ran the ball 28 times for 98 yards. Cornell Tate, 6 catches, 111 yards, and 2 touchdowns receiving. Ohio State defensively, Caleb Downs, 6 total tackles. For Wisconsin, Hunter Simmons was 6 of 12, 54 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. Wisconsin was no better running the football, 31 yards, 95 yards, and passing, forget it. 7 receptions for 49 yards. Their leading tackler was Cooper Catalana. We go to the team stats. Again, rushing was the same. Ohio State had a great day passing. Wisconsin couldn't do shit. They were 2 of 11 on third down, ass whooping. Wisconsin 2-5 overall, 0-4 in the Big Ten, and Ohio State now 7-0 overall, 4-0 in the Big Ten. Which brings us to week number 9. Top 25 action. I will save my game of the week for last. So I'm going to go as they're being played on Saturday. 12 p.m. on Fox, probably big noon kickoff. UCLA, who have won 3 in a row, by the way, travel to take on number 2 Indiana. Indiana's favored by 25.5. Now, the last time Indiana was favored like this was last week, and they didn't cover. I'm going to say Indiana wins, but I think UCLA might have some game for them. Weather's not going to be an issue. Indiana favored by 25.5, but I think UCLA will cover. I'm going to go Indiana 38, UCLA 21. 12 p.m. on ESPN. Syracuse travels to take on number 7 Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech favored by 17.5. Take a little home cooking for Georgia Tech. They had a tough roadie at Duke. I think Georgia Tech might walk all over them this game. I'll go Georgia 41. Syracuse 14. At 12 p.m. on the ACC network, number 16 Virginia travels to take on North Carolina. Virginia's favored by 10.5. Scary for me, but North Carolina just doesn't have it. Not impressed. I think Virginia will probably win this game. I don't know about by 10.5. I'll go Virginia 35, North Carolina 21. How's that? 12 p.m. Big one in the American on ESPN too. Number 18, South Florida travels to take on Memphis. South Florida's favored by 4.5. I think Memphis got caught looking ahead against UAB last week. The only reason I'm taking South Florida is because they're at home. I'm sorry. The only reason I'm taking Memphis is because they're at home. Memphis 30, South Florida 28. 3:30 p.m. on ABC. Number 4, Alabama is traveling to take on South Carolina. Alabama's overfavored by 11.5. I just don't see it out of South Carolina. I'll go Alabama 38, South Carolina 20. 3:30 p.m. Another big one. SEC matchup. Number 15, Missouri travels to take on number 10, Vandy. They're both 6-1. Vandy's favorite by 2.5. I'll take Vandy at home, but close. I'll go Vanderbilt 31, Missouri 28. 3:30 p.m. Number 11, BYU, undefeated by the way, traveling to take on Iowa State. Iowa State's favorite by 3.5. I say this all the time. Somebody knows something I don't. BYU coming off the Holy War. A knockdown, drag 'em out kind of game. I'll go Iowa State 27, BYU 24. Yes, I'm calling for the upset. 3:30 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. Number 23, Illinois traveling to take on Washington. They're both 5-2 overall. Washington's favorite by 4.5. I get it. It's because Washington's at home. Illinois coming off a bye. I'm still going to take Illinois. I'm going to go Illinois 31, Washington 26. 4 p.m. on ESPNU, Oklahoma State taking on number 14, Texas Tech. Texas Tech's favorite by 38.5. Texas Tech will be in a bad mood. I don't know who's going to be quarterback for Texas Tech, but Oklahoma State sucks. State might not score. I'm going to go Oklahoma or Texas Tech 47, Oklahoma State. I'll give them a touchdown. How's that? 47-7. 4 p.m. in ESPN2, Baylor travels to take on number 21, Cincinnati. Cincinnati is only favored by 4.5. I think Cincinnati does just enough. I'm going to go Cincinnati 33, Baylor 24. 4:15 p.m. on the SC Network. Number 22, Texas travels on the road again to take on Mississippi State. Texas is favored by 6.5. They better watch out. This Mississippi State team is a good team. And the way Texas has been playing, I don't know. I'll still take Texas to win, but I think it'll be close. I'll go Texas 27, Mississippi State 24. 7 p.m. on FS1, Wisconsin travels to take on number 6, Oregon. Forget about it. Oregon's favored by 33.5. This will be a destruction. I'm going to go Oregon 49, Wisconsin 7. 7 p.m. on ESPN, Stanford travels to take on number 9, Miami. Miami's favored by 29.5. Stanford just beat Florida State. Miami is a different beast. I'll go Miami 38, Stanford 10. 7:30 p.m. on ABC. Number 3, Texas A&M travels to take on number 20, LSU. Texas A&M's favored by 2.5. It's a night game. It's in Baton Rouge. I know LSU is still trying to find itself. I'm still taking LSU in an upset. LSU 27, Texas A&M 24. 7:30 p.m. on the ACC Network. Boston College travels to take on number 19, Louisville. Louisville's favored by 25.5. They should cover. I'm going to go Louisville 38, Boston College 10. 7:30 p.m. on NBC. Number 25, Michigan travels to take on Michigan State. Michigan's favored by 14.5. Michigan 32, Michigan State 17. 7:45 p.m. on the SEC Network. Number 17, Tennessee travels to take on Kentucky. Tennessee's only favored by 9.5. I know Kentucky played Texas tough. I don't see it again. Tennessee 35, Kentucky 17. 8 p.m. This is tricky. Houston travels to take on number 24, Arizona State. Arizona State's favored by 7.5. Arizona State just came off an emotional win against Texas Tech. I know Sam Levitt's probably playing, but you would expect a letdown. I'm going for an upset. Houston 28, Arizona State 24, which brings me to my game of the week at 12 o'clock on ABC. Number 8, Ole Miss at 6-1 travels to take on number 13, Oklahoma. Oklahoma State's favored by 4.5. Oklahoma State with their lackluster. Ole Miss with a heart-wrenching loss to Georgia when they had them. Again, Oklahoma favorite by 4.5. The over-under is 54.5. I know Oklahoma State defense is tough. So is Ole Miss's. I know they had a letdown last week. I know Oklahoma's at home. But somehow, some way, and this brings me to my who gets the finger. And yes, I'm taking Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I think, wins this football game. And I'm actually trying to find the music. For some odd reason, it didn't transfer the music over. So I might be screwed here. I'm looking for it, and I still don't see it. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? Give me just a second here. And it's still not transferring over. Hold on. Nope, it's not going to let me do it, the bastards. Okay, so it's not going to let me do it. But Ole Miss, you get the finger. You will beat Oklahoma this weekend in a battle of an SEC importance. I'm going to go Ole Miss 31, Oklahoma 21. Yes, that's right. You heard it first. And again, I don't know why it's not letting me play the music. I don't know. But with all that being said, I'm going to end it there. It's 24-14. Kennesaw State is still up on FIU late in the second. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see everybody tomorrow, God willing, on another episode of Early Eating Sports Buffet with the Gench. NBA is kicking off. Again, NHL in full swing. College football getting down to the nitty gritty. NFL's almost halfway through the freaking season already. Hopefully, I'll see everybody tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of their night. Again, the World Series is kicking off Friday. Excuse me. So I think that's just about going to do it for me. I'm out. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.
Cleats on the turf, hearts in the game. Chasing the glory, chasing the flame. One team, one dream, and never the same. Student body right, student body fight. Feel the surge, feel the light. Run the play under the blue spotlight. Victory calls in the deafening sound. We rise, we